Hello everyone, this is Fi. We're checking out Cactus. This is a game I have played before. I don't know how long ago it was. It was a little while, and I have no idea how much has changed since then. So we're going to find out. We're going to give this a playtest. See if we can give some useful feedback. I got the game page open here. It says Cactus working title is a tactical espionage co-op shooter set in a cyber fantasy world. It goes on to describe how you can host a networked game and have your friend come in and play with you. I'm going to be playing single player. I don't have any friends. And let's see, it goes on to list controls. We've got WASD for movement, shift to sprint, E is use, right click to aim, left click to shoot, control to crouch, double tap control to roll, space is jump or mantle, Q is open ability menu, which is apparently buggy, and middle mouse button to switch camera shoulders while aiming. Alright, the game might not work in Windows 7. That, I believe, has been fixed. For anyone trying out this build, I actually had to get a custom build from the developer because of the saving and loading feature was apparently causing it to crash, which I didn't hear anyone else complaining about that, so maybe it's not for everyone, but in my case, that's what happened. So I did get a build that apparently works. Thanks to the developer for that, and let's see what we can get into here. So let's get rid of the overlay. I did notice before, it seems like you have to click twice for some reason. I don't know if that has something to do with, maybe it's like alt-tabbing out or something, but to click on that twice. So we've got here, I did check the settings menu before making this video. That was yesterday when I had the buggy build that I couldn't actually get into. I think we have a nice exclusive full screen mode here, which is very nice. Especially since I'm on Windows 7. VSync off. I think we want to try bumping up the anti-aliasing, I guess. I don't know that that even works. When I click apply, it doesn't appear to do anything in particular, but alright, so I think that's going to be about it. Some of this isn't implemented yet, but pretty nice looking menu overall, so let's go ahead and click on new game. Alright, we got some, looks like some how-to in here. The mouse sensitivity is way off for me, so I'm going to see if I can adjust that. And controls, I guess. Gameplay. Alright, I don't think... It doesn't look like we even have the option, so... That's too bad, so that would be a thing to add in here. It's, of course, very important to have that adjustable mouse sensitivity. This is extraordinarily high, but I do have little buttons on my mouse to adjust the DPI settings, so I could turn that down a little bit. And this is too low, so that's the problem, is it's not high enough resolution to really give me what I need. But this is kind of in the middle. I'll just have to try to... Sometimes I spam the little button to reset it. I developed that habit because there were times when I was playing games where I would accidentally hit one of the buttons to change the DPI, and then I would like end up dying or whatever because I would be playing an online game, and so I just kind of developed a habit to keep resetting it to keep that from happening, so I might do that at some point. What did you do to the AGDG logo? It's like backwards. Alright. This is a short level showcasing gameplay and abilities. Oh, sorry, my eyeball skipped ahead there. This is a short level showcasing gameplay and changes since last demo day. Abilities, press E. At checkpoints to upgrade abilities, only first 2 abilities are implemented. Sorry. Are you a bad enough dude to find the level exit? Why not try multiplayer? Well, it's too much effort, that's why. Red is health, blue is ammo. Auto pickup. Green is ability points. So either interact, maybe you have to press E to pick up stuff because it doesn't suggest how to pick up something if it doesn't say auto pickup next to the other things. Q is your ability menu. Oh. Okay, so you got this radial menu. I don't see my cursor, so that makes it a little bit funkier to deal with, but it appears to work. The other thing that occurs to me is I don't actually have any kind of reticles, so... Okay, when I shoot, it says explode. So I guess I can't actually shoot. Like, there's no actual projectiles from what I can tell. the ammo does go down. The camera's getting interesting here, going up this door here. If I press R, it doesn't, or maybe it did reload. It says 20 out of 50 now, but I didn't see any animation, so maybe that's not implemented. Let's go ahead and press E. Nice looking little door. Oh, wow. Okay, so not only did I die extraordinarily fast, but it looked like I dropped a chunk of frames there. Let me play. So I didn't expect to to run into death that rapidly. It did describe the game as like a stealth shooter, for whatever that's worth. Okay, we got little indicators for the state of the enemies, which is quite nice. And I actually can kill them, interestingly enough. It looks like the reload does work, even though I can't actually see it happening. So, you know, I can't complain about the stuff that's obviously just not been implemented yet. It's I'm trying to press the E key. I don't think I can pick up this pistol. Oh, hello. All right. I like how they die so fast. That's one thing that's kind of, I think it's kind of underappreciated in shooter games, is that if you just make enemies die really fast, it's kind of a stupid sounding thing, but like it tends to be very satisfying because it just makes it feel like your weapons are actually deadly, you know, instead of what seems to happen more often, where everything is very bullet spongy and you have to shoot something with like an automatic rifle for like a second straight before it falls down, you know. Of course, you have to try to balance around being able to kill things so easily, but definitely feels very good. Even though it feels like, you know, I'm shooting a light gun right now. Oh, that was jarring. Alright, I can't see a darn thing. Alright, there we go. So yeah, all these visuals. Curious what you're gonna do to make this work better, but as of right now, this is really cool. I've always liked the idea of crawling around in vents. I think that's one of the cool things in games, and doing it in third person, that's not something you see very often, I don't think. I mean, not in this kind of game. So that's cool. I like the idea of it. You are a bit slow, which I guess is okay as long as you're not doing it too often and across too far distances, but you know, you might want to consider speeding it up, or maybe maybe you could like hold shift to do like a little kind of a sprint crawl deal, and then maybe you could kind of balance that off by maybe it creates more noise so that there's like a risk element to it. Something like that might maybe be worth considering. So yeah, this being a stealth game, one thing I did notice is that the enemies were just kind of there without me realizing it until it was kind of, they were already shooting at me. So that's something, of course, that you can improve quite a bit with a lot more sound cues. You know, just make the enemies just make noises that kind of carry through the level and stuff, and then you have a lot more of awareness, because that's one of the things I think people, I mean, I'm not suggesting the developer doesn't realize this, because I'm sure most developers could figure this out, but I think most people take for granted how important the audio is in games, and particularly in 3D games, because you know, you can only see kind of in certain directions, and you can only see so much just based on whatever the camera is pointing at the moment, but there's stuff going on all around you, and just like in real life, you get a lot of information, kind of spatial information from sounds and things like that. You rely on your ears to tell you about things going on around you that your eyes can't see at the moment, and it's the same in video games. So a lot of good sound design is really important for stealth games, which I think is also probably why some stealth games are kind of known for their sound design. Like I remember the Thief games, which are kind of classic for being, you know, very early, well-designed 3D stealth game, was always known for, it's like really ahead of its time audio design. I guess, I don't know if I can do anything else to this guy besides click on him. This is silly. Sorry. You got too excited. I had to do it. Okay. Alright, so yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I'm gonna go back down here real quick. There's a big door right here. So this feels a lot more like an actual design level than the last build that I played, which was kind of just an open world sort of area, which didn't have any kind of directionality to it. So that's kind of what I'm curious about. That's this checkpoint. Oh, excuse me. Door doesn't open from this side. So... Alright, so I can determine that... Well, I guess I don't know any way to get up. So it looks like you could use these tunnels to get into that room, but... Is there supposed to be a ladder in here or something? Because of course I don't see anything. Maybe they plan to add something you can climb up or something there. But yeah, I'm trying to get a sense of like how much does this level kind of suggest the way it's meant to progress, and I think it's reasonable. Oh, I didn't see that before. Actually, I think that connected to that. Now that I think about it, and that also went somewhere else. I don't know. So there's a few different paths here, and I don't know like which one do you take. I guess it's just kind of a guess. You could sneak past that guy, I guess, and try and go through the big door, but then it's like, you know, this is kind of a conspicuous door if you're trying to play stealth, right? Like that guy's right there. And he would probably hear this big clanky door if that was implemented. So I don't know what you want to do. Like maybe you could have, you know, if you were to treat this like a AAA game, you might have like these voiceovers, like someone's communicating in your ear, and it's like, oh, this is, you know, your mission, and then these are your options, and you know, you could try taking the stairs, or if you're feeling bold, you could try going right down the middle with a frontal assault, but then that's going to draw a lot of attention. You know, they give you all these little hints about like what's coming up, so you have a little bit to go off of to make some of these decisions. But that's kind of a, you know, production heavy sort of solution where you're going to do, I mean, you don't have to do voice acting and stuff, but if you weren't trying to do all this story stuff with characters and stuff, it might be harder to pull that off. But yeah, I guess you could do it with text or whatever. So yeah, this is a little bit slow. I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's realistic, of course, to not be super fast like this. I guess in IRL you could crouch walk a little faster than this. You just get tired pretty quick, but it just feels slow to me for a game, I think. Obviously, if you are sneaking, you want to be slow, but that's a little different. So yeah, I think it might be worth like adding a shift to the crouch walk to move faster, and then, like I mentioned before, you could balance it by making it make more noise. Excuse me. Like, it kind of made sense when you're inside of these little what do you call them, vents or whatever, but because vents might make noise, but I think that would also just work in general. And just to point it out, if this is meant to be quiet, it doesn't sound quiet with the current audio. As it's implemented, it sounds quite loud, like the footsteps. So I would suggest like making that silent, because that kind of gives the player the audio cue. Okay, when I'm doing this, I'm quiet. It's intuitive. I guess we don't really have an option. I'm just kind of guessing. Oh. Alright, yeah, see, there's not really any challenge currently when everyone dies in one hit. And the aiming doesn't... I don't know how precise the aiming is, because I don't have a reticle and there's no projectiles or anything. So it seems very forgiving currently. But it feels good, so that's the good part. Camera's having some trouble with that. I kind of like the idea of, at least for a stealth game, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it'll really pan out, but the idea of not having a reticle on the screen is actually a little bit interesting. But yeah, I don't know if this was a more fleshed out game. I'm not sure if that would be more frustrating than interesting. But yeah, it seems like it would be interesting to just kind of force the player to spam the shots a bit. I mean, I guess in theory that like IRL when you're aiming down the sights like this, you're always gonna have a sight. It's not even necessarily realistic if you don't see a reticle on the screen to aim with, because it's like you're worse off than you would be in real life, which is kind of weird. So okay, that's where I came from. We have kind of a big fork in the road here where it really goes in two opposite directions, which is a little bit tricky in terms of trying to make sense of what you're doing, you know, where to go next. Having branching paths and stuff can be nice, but when it's like, when they go in two opposite directions, that's a bit rough. Because it's like, it doesn't have the same feeling of, you know, it doesn't, I can just choose A or B, it doesn't necessarily matter because they're going in completely opposite directions, so it you know, it kind of intuitively gives you the sense of making two very different choices, as opposed to like both of these paths are going to lead to the same place, you know? This is obviously just a unimplemented thing. I don't know what this kind of catwalk thing is. Maybe we will encounter that later, I don't know. It looks like we could climb across this blue pipe though, which is interesting. Seems entirely intentional that this is here. A little bit of a gap here though. Oh, there's like a weird stuff going on here. I think I can, yeah, so I can get it. Oh, hello. They don't seem to see me. Those guys look beefy. What is that, a portal? I'm trying to shoot him, it doesn't seem to work currently. I think he's pretty centered in the screen, so that's interesting. Yeah, the problem is, of course, doing this, I feel like I just skipped a chunk of stuff and it doesn't really feel right because it's like I want to see the rest of the stuff. So that's one thing that can kind of feel sort of counterintuitive in that it can kind of feel bad to have a shortcut in some games because you just kind of miss out on all this content and you just have no idea what you might have missed out on. So I don't know. Oh, level up. So I have to click with the mouse? It's a little weird. I kind of thought I could use WASD. It might be nice to have both. I mean, I like being able to use the mouse as an option. Cactus vision. Telekinesis cloaking. Interesting. Dermal armor, sound dampening, adrenaline injector. Trap deployer, defibrillator, implant, defibrillator, energy shield, skill points 1. Okay. So that's important. This is, I would make this more prominent and brighter. Looks kind of almost grayed out down there, but that's important to know to make sense of what you're doing here. I would even put that in like at the top here or something. And of course I have no idea what these are, but oh, okay, so you can actually click on them. I would change this maybe to when you hover over them. That this would change rather than forcing a click. It just seems like an unnecessary additional input maybe. Alright, see and manipulate the virtual link between objects. That sounds very cool. That's sort of like, what's that game called? That one, the 2D one, I don't remember what it's called. Also highlights guards behind walls. Higher skill levels increase the fall off distance for the vision, increases the amount of time the ability is active, and reduces cooldown. So apparently it has like a time limit. Highlights guards behind walls. Okay, sounds very cool. Cloaking, I guess, is obvious. Telekinesis allows you to grab and manipulate objects, which is, you know, we see that in other games, but it's generally quite fun. Thermal armor reduces damage. That's boring. Sound dampening. It's straightforward. Adrenaline injector increases your walk speed for a short time. Which Okay, makes you faster. I assume that's for running. I would assume this would work for like all movement, all types of movement. So even um, like in Deus Ex, I believe that has a like an ability like this where it also speeds you up even if you're like you're crouch walking, so you can kind of move silently while also a bit faster. That kind of thing. I think that would make sense. Trap deployer doesn't say anything. Bring your team, you or your teammates back to life. Reduces the amount of damage taken. So this is, I assume this is like a deployable because of the thing it's under, but it kind of sounds like it literally has the same description as this, so that's interesting. So yeah, it occurs to me that some of these are a little bit more boring than others. They're not necessarily like weaker than others, because that's more of, it's like a balance thing, and having dermal armor could be very helpful. But comparing just like a passive damage reduction to something like telekinesis, where you can actually do all this extra cool stuff interacting with the game, it's like this is way more interesting than something like this. So something to think about, I suppose. I mean, to some extent, you can't account for that. I mean, you can't prevent the fact that some things are going to be a little more interesting to people than others. But I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of ways you could come up with to you just add a little bit of balance to the general interest of the upgrades. Maybe just add a little something extra that comes with the dermal armor or something like that. So, I'm interested in the Cactus Vision. Seems like Cactus Vision and Telekinesis are the two that really add a lot. I guess in theory, if these are actually deployables, that's kind of an interactive thing. That can be, maybe it could be fun to use those in-game, but apart from that, these seem to be like really big additions to actual gameplay. Let's just do this and hope that I clicked commit, so I guess it's there now. I guess it's Q, and then there's my Cactus Vision, which... How long does it stay active? Or does it just stay active? Okay, it seems like I could just use it at will, at least currently. The only thing is... Oh, I got an ability point back, so I can just... Apparently I can just kind of abuse this right now to get more things, so that's good for playtesting. But this did say, yeah, the amount of time the ability is active and cooldown. I don't know that that's implemented yet, but that's fine. Again, it's good for playtesting. Try to add skill points ability with non-existent class telekinesis. So apparently, I did mention on the game page that this is a bit buggy, so that... Oh. I guess it... Oh, okay, no, it didn't actually work this time. Yeah, at least it, when it threw the error, it gave me back the skill point, so that's kind of nice. So it seems that we can't do telekinesis right now, but we can do... Aha! Cooking. Nice. Right, so this is leading back to almost the beginning, which is not helpful, but it's interesting. I'm not sure what to think about that. Like, you could put... Sometimes it's nice to have a path that goes back to the beginning after you get, forward a good ways, but you have to kind of have a reason to ever want to go back, I guess. That can be helpful. In which case, I'd do something like maybe this is locked from one side, that kind of thing. But again, it kind of comes down to, like, I could have gone here from the beginning and it would have felt like skipping a bunch of stuff, I guess. It would have been quite confusing to come out here and just be like, okay, where do I go? Because I've kind of more or less explored everything already, I can kind of figure that I don't think I saw anywhere else to go besides across the blue pipe there. But if I hadn't explored everything and say I went through there right from the start, I came through here and then I was like, okay, I got that thing, and then I came this way. You know, maybe I would have, like, I see that and that's interesting, but I probably would have skipped it, and then I would have got, you know, who knows where else, and then it's getting a little bit to seem like it's not the game. The level isn't suggesting clear sense of progression forward in terms of, like, you know, the directionality of it, and you know, having a starting point and an ending point that you're looking for, and like paths in between. So it's one thing to have branching paths and stuff, but if they kind of sprawl out too much in too many different directions, it doesn't really suggest that, you know, this way is forward and this way isn't, and that kind of thing. So might be worth trying to tighten that up just a little bit. It's not as bad as having like a big open world sprawl, you know, but could maybe be better. But the other thing is, you know, you could also add those other elements, like going back to, I'm wondering if that's meant to be the level end and those guys are like celebrating me or something. Going back to the idea of, like, say you had all these voiceovers, or at least, oh my gosh, what is all, oh, this is up here. I don't know what these are. So you had all these, like, you know, Metal Gear Solid style voiceovers or whatever, or even just, you know, text communications or something. You can kind of feed the player a lot of information that can kind of help, and you might see like you know, context sensitive stuff, like if I walked under this crosswalk, catwalk, whatever, at some point, or it went into view, then you might have a little pop-up and say, oh, that's where you're supposed to go, try and get up there, you know, that kind of thing. You can get away with a lot more like that if you're feeding the player all this information constantly, but if you're not doing that kind of thing, and the player just has to purely figure stuff out without being given anything explicit, then I think it demands more from the level to suggest things by other means, you know, just subtle elements of how the level is designed. And so I like this guy clapping. These are really silly looking dudes, but I guess we just go through and then we say congrats, maybe. Oh, it keeps going. Oh, we got some echoes. Oh, is this the no, I don't know where this is, but that's a big drop. Why would there be trucks up here and then a giant drop? That's interesting. So I don't think I can get on these. I just have to find out whether or not this kills me. Oh, there's a little ramp down there. That helps, I suppose. Alright, what is this? Let me, what's the button? Q? Oh, I don't have the thing. The stuff is gone. Okay. So this isn't quite as responsive as I'd like, but again, I don't see a reticle, so that has something to do with it. An elevator. It's nice. I like how these interactable objects work. I mean, it feels very consistent and good. It's like all the colliders and stuff feel good, and it's kind of satisfying, so it seems like it's well implemented. I have no idea what I'm looking at in this checkpoint room. Okay, so I guess there's, oh, okay. This kind of reminds me of the stuff in like Metroid Prime, like the save stations or something. So, oh, I do have an ability point for some reason. I guess we'll put Cactus Vision back. Now does this? Okay. that does not provide the points. I got the points somewhere else. So I like how I can just slap the button, the Q again, to turn the last ability on or off. That's really nice. So there's an interactable box, but it doesn't, I don't think it does anything, or maybe it's unlocking it and I didn't notice. There's a light right here, which is kind of weird. Oh. I think I might have triggered the elevator when I tried to trigger the door. I don't know if it just goes back up automatically. That doesn't seem like it should have done that. So that might have been a bit of a buggy situation there. Probably wouldn't want that to be possible, you know. Need a certain amount of separation between the colliders. Either that or just have, you know, some code to make sure one or the other is functioning. This is not what I expected to see. This is very interesting. Very cool. Like obviously, there's tons of textures and stuff that aren't implemented, but it's starting to feel more fleshed out. It's really cool with the sound and everything. Really nice design here visually. Very interesting. But where do I go now? It's getting a little dark here. This is getting to the point where I'd like to be able to see with, you know, a light of some sort to make sense of what's going on in that little corner there. I don't know. I don't know if there's a way. Forward in here, that looks like a big wall right there. I don't know. I'm gonna go back. I could jump down into this and see what happens. Oh my, what the heck? Wow. Alright, so that was unexpected. It's pretty dark here, so I wouldn't really expect that guard to react that quickly. Also, it's pretty far away, so that's something... Alright, I think this is ammo or something. That's something that can be problematic in stealth games, so you have the sense that, like, obviously, realistically speaking, you can see somebody from quite far away, so if you want, like, realistic guard AI or whatever, you want them to be able to see you from fairly far away. However, that tends to be really, like, really hard to make work actually for gameplay reasons, because it's just extremely easy to get into a sight line with an enemy at some point while you're running around the level. So it feels like super punishing and not very fun to have guards that can see too far away, you know, like just to see you and then suddenly start shooting at you, and then they alert like everyone in the whole building and that kind of thing. So I think for stealth games you end up kind of having no choice but to make the enemy vision range like a lot shorter than you think you probably should. What is this? Alright, that's a little funky looking. Oh, hello. So, something to consider is that, you know, even if you make the enemy sight range really short, you can also do things like if you're making a lot of noise, that kind of thing, then that might like increase the sight range of enemies in a sense, you know, like if you're just stealthing around, they might have a really short effective range to be able to sense you, but if you start doing things that are less stealthy, then that range can kind of effectively increase, and you know, that I think that can work well for stealth games. And yeah, they have really quite fast reaction times. I would suggest slowing that down a little bit. And, you know, adding an audio cue, so like when they start seeing you, they might go, huh? You know, that kind of thing. And then you get that sense, oh, I gotta duck my head down again or whatever. So something I did notice is that this level layout actually reminds me a lot of a certain part of Deus Ex, the first game. It almost makes me wonder if it was like inspired by that or something. Oh, this is very, very, very dark. I do have this. I forgot about this. This is helpful. Okay. But yeah, it's very deja vu. I mean, my memory isn't that great, so I don't know how close it is to that. It's probably not that close, but it definitely gave me that sense. Wow, I super died. I think you pretty much die in one hit the same way that they do. It kind of seems that way. It's a bit unfortunate to come all the way back here, but I guess we can kind of speedrun, you know, without talking so much. It probably won't take that long to get back to where I was. As long as I don't die again, because that's going to get annoying really fast if that happens. I think, yeah, we want to be over here. You might want to make this a little more prominent if it's that important. I mean, you know, who knows how final this level layout is, but it could be really easy because this is the first door to just open this and then keep going. And then somebody would just completely skip this room, even though it seems like this is like a really important thing to come across. I don't know. Let's give us some more cactus vision. I kind of like the way that the player doesn't turn instantly. They have a little bit of a realistic feeling to the controller there. This isn't what I expected. Why why is it down there? So I don't know where I am right now. I seem to remember this area more or less. I'm spamming the button. I think I said I hit him. Must have fallen. Oh, there's another guy out there, so this is... Oh, crap. It's quite unlikely to hit anyone from this range without being able to aim properly. Oh, you can see that through the wall. That's interesting. Actually kind of nice. I'm not sure. I mean, that certainly doesn't seem like a convention for this kind of, for like a stealth game to be able to see information about enemies through the walls like that. But it's pretty nice. It's giving a lot of information to the player that they can work with. And I'm definitely a fan of giving players lots of information. So we're here. I'm not sure. I'm worried if I go down there I won't be able to get back up. I don't know. I was curious about that, but now I don't want to try it. It looks like there's a place over here maybe that was designed for that, yeah. Probably. What about up here? Can I do something on these pipes? Oh, I can get over here. Hello. So that's a little bit hidden over there. If that's the way forward in the level, you probably don't want to hide it too much. It's better to keep like hidden stuff to actual secrets and things. So sometimes you just have to make it a little bit obvious. Is this one of these? I think that's health. Okay, maybe this isn't the way forward. This is just a room. So in that case, that's fine. it's fine to hide that. Where do we go from here? I guess we can go down here, and lighting looks nice. Nice Unreal Engine effects in here. I think that's all blocked off. I like these Metroid Prime mushrooms. It's like a little bit of a ramp, but not one that I can climb up. I don't know. I don't know where to go from here. Up there is where I started, I believe. Or it's... No, that's not where I started. Somewhere else. So that's probably not the way forward. I can walk through these rocks. There's no collision yet. Looks like I can maybe get up right here. Alright. works well enough. So, utility room, I didn't see that before. I think that's what I didn't do. I didn't find these doors here. Main distribution room. And there's a thing. I haven't actually used this in any proper way as of yet, so I don't know how that works really. Looks like another door here. Oh, I think I did come in here before, maybe. Or a similarly the dark room, but I don't believe I went in here. Hello? Okay, I'm gonna run out of ammo here. A pretty good amount of ammo, but... Oh yeah, he has super far vision range. That's really far. Especially considering I can't like actually aim my gun properly. Oh, he's coming. Oh, he coming. Also, it does have some AI to at least notice other guards that are down. And what else do we have in here? Just a stairway up. I do like how you can kind of see through them for the most part. That's helpful. In case there's enemies up there, or you can kind of see like these openings and stuff, and you're trying to look up there and get a sense of what you're looking at. This is the one part where like the way that the running is he kind of leans into the turns, feels a little annoying because it's like I keep running into the walls trying to go around these little turns here. I can kind of compensate for it, but it's kind of silly. A silly detail. I guess we can do this kind of thing. Look around corners better. I actually hear an enemy on the other side here, I think. What the heck? Oh, it's my own footsteps. When I'm turning around like this, okay. Interesting, that was really misleading. I wonder if that's something you'd want to address in some fashion. I mean, if nothing else, you probably don't want all of your footsteps to be completely uniform. You probably want different sounds. Like, of course, like if you're doing this, you want this to be quiet. And then maybe... I don't know, maybe, I would even say maybe just don't have footstep sounds when you're standing still and looking around and ADSing like this. I think it's just misleading, and you could just justify it by saying, this would just be like quiet foot adjustments or something as opposed to running or whatever. That might actually be worth doing. I think we have another thing here, but what... I don't think we even make sound currently. Trap deployer, I wonder if that works. I don't know if I want to bother with it. Sounds like too much trouble with the current AI and stuff. Any chance of that? No. Any chance of this? No. We already tried telekinesis, it doesn't work. Cloaking does work. Adrenaline injector, nope. Did we try this one? Wait. Alright, I don't think anything appears to work except for the cloaking and more cactus vision, which... I mean, I guess so. I mean, I don't think we need the cloaking particularly for the current level here, so maybe that extends the range of it further or whatever. Oh, end of the level. Yeah. He makes like a ton of footprint sounds doing this. It really gives a sense that there's like an enemy or something around you. That's very misleading, yeah, so I would definitely suggest that change. But it looks like we don't have anything... Oh, how did that go to the down position? Oh. I don't know if it's like a subtle mouse movement that's causing it to switch to the bottom. Interesting. Alright, we reached the end. I think there's probably not any more we should try to do running around and playing and stuff, so good point to wrap up the video, but alright, there's no fall damage. So yeah, I mean, this is a lot more, it feels a lot more game-like than what I played last time, which is just kind of an open world and you can run around a bit and you can't really do anything. So it definitely seems like they put a ton of work in since then. There's a ton of level design going on, which is really cool to see. It's actually, I think it's really nice looking. It is very, it seems very much like that Deus Ex level that I mentioned. I'm not sure if that was intentional or if that's purely coincidental. But it seems really good, and it looks like, you know, when you get more of these visual elements and the sounds and everything in here, it's going to be very appealing in terms of the aesthetic and the cosmetics and everything. But functionally, it seems pretty good. Maybe little moments here and there where it would make sense to try to streamline things a little bit, but other than that, it seems like there's a lot of interest and such, so that's really good. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that just isn't in the game yet. A lot of enemy behaviors to deal with and everything. I wonder if this is... Looks like you can get down here and... This... Oh, okay, there's a staircase. So, you could even put secrets down here. Yeah, lots of good stuff in the game right now. And it'll be really interesting to see, I guess, what they do with the sound design. That's kind of what I'm most curious about, because other stuff is kind of, you know, just wait for them to put this stuff in the game, you know. Like, I can't really comment on what isn't in the game yet. There's a lot of enemy, well, I already said that, but I'm curious about how they handle the sound design, and yeah, like I said, just be careful about the vision ranges of the enemies and stuff. It's really easy to run into problems with that kind of thing, so I think that's about it. Oh, I have breasts. I didn't know this is the female model. It's funny how how masculine the female Unreal mannequin is. Anyways, yeah, so let's wrap this up. Hopefully you found the video useful, and I'm looking forward to the next version of it, of the game, I mean. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.